G'day guys, Sam here from Recon Australian Adventures. In this episode I'm going to be talking about a mod for full driving and full drives that I believe personally gets missed quite a fair bit, especially when you get a new full drive. You get a little bit carried away with putting a bull bar on it, putting a big lift kit on there, putting good tyres on there, when really you should be looking at getting a snorkel done straight away. But this is almost just as important as a snorkel, or if anything a little bit more. And not only that, it's a very cost-effective mod. Like, it doesn't cost that much. You only have to spend about $150 to get some really good gear, or you can spend as little as $40 and it does exactly the same job. And the product that I'm going to be installing in the 950 Hilux today is some diff breathers. Not any diff breathers, Black Hawk diff breathers. Now, one of the main reasons why I'm doing it with this one here is because it's got 4 ports. It doesn't just have 2 just for the diff breathers, it also has 1 for the transfer case and also the gearbox. So let's open this up and actually see what we get with this kit. You get all of your hoses, 2 coil hoses, and you also get heaps of your main line. Okay, don't need that. You get all of your push-on fittings. You also get all of your little barbs and screw-on points. You also get your cover, which is, in all honesty, the best looking part about this whole thing. You get a fair bit of elbows to go on your diffs, and just heaps of connectors to go onto your main part of your attachment there. Oh, and you also get and zip ties. Just from looking that everything is here, it actually looks like a really good quality kit. It looks like that all the fittings are made out of good materials, and also these pipes, they're nice and thick, and they also don't squish, so you know that they're going to be nice and rigid when they're underneath a vehicle, taking on all the corrugations, all the sand and all the mud and dust. So with this being said, I have no idea how to install these, so I'm going to go grab as many tools as I possibly can out of the work ute, and we'll just basically see what happens. They do come with instructions, so I'm definitely going to be looking at that, seeing what I have to do to make sure I put them in correctly, and then just see what happens. Let's go. Now, before I start working on the 950 Hilux, I'm going to give you guys a little bit of an update of what I've been doing to it, and as you can see, it looks a little bit different. I've actually taken the canopy off, so I've chucked it back over there in the garage, just for the simple fact I do have some plans for this back of the tray, but that's going to be in the next couple of episodes. There's going to be quite a big episode with what I'm actually going to be doing with the back of this tray and what I'm going to be putting on the back of it. I've also added some of these small latches, just for the simple fact that this bonnet does not go on here securely, and it also takes out a lot of the vibrations. And I've also fixed the bull bar. If you guys had a keen eye in the last episode, you could see that it was tilted back a little bit. I don't know why. I'm pretty sure that the original owner of this vehicle hit a rule or something like that. So that's all straightened up, so now it looks a little bit better. And now we're going to go and see what we actually have to do to put these diff breathers in and the transfer case. So first things first, I'm going to go down there, have a little bit of a look, see what I actually have to do, and see where I can actually run these lines as well. By the looks of it, the original owner actually had a crack at doing some diff breathers, but all they are literally just a hose clamp and some clear pipe. And by the looks of it, they've actually done their job well, but we're going to be taking out the old stuff, putting in the new, just so it's a little bit more reliable. You know that this plastic pipe isn't going to crack going over corrugations, and not only that, it's more just longevity. Once you put something like this in, you don't want to have to constantly come back to it, because I can also see in one of these plastic pipes there's a little bit of a crack in there. So yeah, I'll tell you the whole idea why we're doing these diff breathers in the next episode. So we'll start taking the old stuff out, taking a good look at these diffs and transfer case and all that sort of jazz, and we'll see what happens. And of course, every single time that I want to record a video, it starts raining. But I'm just going to see how the weather goes. I'm going to keep on going. I finally took out all of these old lines, and they were looking pretty average. They were all kinked up. There's a few tears in them and stuff like that. So I'm definitely glad that I'm taking out this old stuff and putting the new stuff in, because just going to be a lot more reliable. If you go through a water crossing, yeah, these are good, they might get you out of trouble, but for longevity, I don't think that they would do the job. So now we're just going to take all the bungs off the diffs and gearbox and transfer case, and then we'll be able to run our lines and figure out where we're going to put this, what is this thing called? This port or whatever it's called. We'll be able to figure out where to put that in the engine bay, so we'll go do that now. So when you're looking for somewhere to mount this, what do you ideally want? You want to put it up at the back of the headboard, just so that it's at its highest point, so that if you get water up there, you know, you got a couple more things to be worried about than your water getting in your diffs and gearbox, put it that way. You have a bloody whole engine to worry about. So what I'm thinking, because over there in the corner, that's pretty compiled up, there's going to be no space over there to do that, I'm going to be chucking it right up the back there. So I reckon that'll look good. I'll be able to run all my lines down. And it's also perfect because the front diff is on the left side as well, so everything should work in well, should I say. Let's mount this up and see what it looks like. I've mounted it just on the top here, but what I've done, I haven't actually screwed it down all the way. As you can see, it still moves side to side. That's just so that we can hook up all the pipes, then push it down flat, nice and flush so it doesn't vibrate off. So the next step that we're going to be doing now is just taking off all the bungs on the diffs and replacing them with the elbows and straight joiners that we got in the pack. So I've already done the rear diff, so I'll show you what that looks like now. So that's it there, and the added bonus is that once the nut goes down, that can actually twist side to side wherever you want to put your pipes. So that way it gives you plenty of options. You know, you can do your nut down all the way and you can turn it to wherever you want. In my case, I'm going to be running it exactly the same lines as the brake lines, because I'm mounting it right beside the brake booster, so keeps it nice and neat, not having so many lines looking like they're going all over the joint. So we'll do that for the same for the front diff and gearbox and transfer case and run our lines. It should be good. To give you guys a little bit of an idea on where I'm at, I finally figured out where this gearbox bung was. But the only bad part about this kit is that it doesn't include the bung to actually put inside there. So I had to go raid the toolbox. I found a fitting, had to cut the bloody thing in half, but I made it work. So as you can see, this is the rough way to do it, but I cut out a little section just so I don't have to, so I can actually get to it. And I've just zip tied it there and put a little bung in the top there. And I'm just using a little bit of Loctite just because it's a good fit, but it'll just make sure that it seals properly, and then when that does dry, it's not going to be moving anywhere. And I just zip tied the absolute out of it. So once I do that, I'm going to tidy all this up. I may as well put some grease in the gearbox stick as well, just because while it's out, and then I can put everything back together, make it look nice and fancy and tidy, and then I can actually start to run these lines back through there. Weird part about it as well, I looked up where the transfer case breather was, but on my gearbox I don't have it. No idea why, but I can't do that because I simply don't have it, and couldn't find the bloody thing anywhere. So if you know where it is, comment down there, but I can't seem to find the bloody thing anywhere. Because they do say they're supposed to be in the sides here, but there's absolutely nothing there. So I'm going to do what I can and chuck it all back together and run the main lines back to the engine bay.
again. Trying hard, but you wanna be my friend. Ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. Here we go again. Call my bluff, I'ma be here till the end. I'm the one you ride, I'm the one you ride to. If you don't wanna change, ain't no place to hide, ain't no one to run to. If you don't wanna change.
Righto guys, that's me done. I've hooked up both of the diffs and the gearbox. It's not too bad. The only thing that was an absolute pain in the ass was getting that little bung out of the gearbox. It took me about, I'd say 45 minutes just for that one, but apart from that, running those other lines was not too bad. But anyway, I've got a lot of cleaning up to do. Got way too many tools out, so if you guys did enjoy this episode and want me to keep on making these, just hit the like and subscribe. Turn on notifications just so that every single time that I do post a video, you'll be notified. That way you won't miss out on any good content. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.